Being one of the only UFO encounters that has been confirmed by the US Navy, the Nimitz UFO incident is one of the most compelling pieces of evidence we have towards proving that aliens are real. The Navy has even stated that the clip should never have been released to the public. During a combat training exercise in 2004, a group stationed on the USS Princeton noticed some strange ghost tracks on their radar system. The crew on board the ship believed it was just a system malfunction and promptly recalibrated their systems, only to find that the tracks were sharper and clearer following the recalibration. The unknown objects would regularly move between heights of 80,000 feet to 30,000 feet. They were traveling at roughly 100 miles per hour, which is unusually low for most aircraft. Even more concerning, the radar cross-sections did not match any known aircraft. The crew spotted these aircraft on several occasions between November 10th and November 16th. They performed maneuvers that are not possible with current aviation technology. They would rapidly ascend or descend great distances. They hovered at points and then departed at a high velocity. One crew member on the ship, Gary Voorhees, said, "When they'd show up on radar, I'd get the relative bearing and then run up to the bridge and look through a pair of heavily magnified binoculars in the direction the returns were coming from. I couldn't make out details, but they'd just be hovering there, then all of a sudden, in an instant, they'd dart off to another location and stop again. At night, they'd give off a kind of phosphorus glow and were a little easier to see than in the day." On November 14th, 4 days after the initial sighting of the UFO, 2 FA-18Fs were instructed to investigate. Visual contact was made when the F-18s were approximately 1 mile away from the Anomalous Aerial Vehicle, or AAV. It was described as an elongated egg, or Tic Tac shape. It was solid white, smooth, with no edges, had no wings or any other means of generating lift, and was about 46 feet long. At one point, one of the pilots attempted to fly past the AAV in order to possibly identify it. As they were maneuvering to pass it, the object ascended quickly at supersonic speed. While the AAV did evade the F-18s, it made no offensive actions. Within seconds, the AAV was spotted again 60 miles away. At the same time, a third pilot was also tracking a water disturbance near where the other 2 pilots were tracking the AAV. It appeared to be 50 to 100 meters across and round. It reminded the pilot of a submarine submerging or a ship sinking. When he turned around to head back, the disturbance cleared. The pilot believed that the disturbance could possibly be from waves breaking over a reef, or that another AAV was present but cloaked to the human eye. In the unofficial executive summary, the aircraft was described. For time purposes, I will be summarizing the following points. The AAV was no known aircraft currently owned by the United States or any other nations. It had few observable characteristics on radar. It performed advanced aerodynamic maneuvers with no visible control surfaces such as flaps on wings and had no visible means of generating lift. It was able to hover as well as move horizontally and/or vertically at incredible speeds with no visible signature such as exhaust. It was possibly able to cloak itself and become invisible to the human eye. It possibly was able to operate beneath the ocean. Aircraft have hard drives on board that contain recordings and data from their flights. One crew member, Patrick Hughes, secured the hard drives from the F-18s involved in the interception and put them in a classified safe. Soon after, Hughes was visited by his commanding officer and 2 other individuals. He was told to hand over the hard drives. Similar experiences happened to other crew members, with many being told to hand over all the data they gathered about the UFOs. They were also told to wipe the tapes clean, even the blank ones. According to one sailor on the ship who saw the original footage, this thing was going berserk, like making turns. It's incredible the amount of G-forces that it would put on a human. It made a maneuver like they were chasing it straight on, it was going with them, then this thing stopped turning, just gone. In an instant. The video you see now, that's just a small snippet in the beginning of the whole video. but this thing, it was so much more than what you see in this video. The following clip, released in 2017, shows part of the encounter. Like the sailor said, this clip is apparently only a fraction of the whole video. The entire video has most likely been destroyed or made highly classified, considering the experiences of Patrick Hughes and others.
Nickel 6-1 Tango Logic, over.
Oh, got it! Woohoo!
Roger, there's troubleshooting as soon as
What the fuck is that? Did you box moving target?
602.
No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at it fly!
In addition to the video, the following image, albeit very low quality, shows where the contact with the AAV was made. On the right is the coast of California, and here is where the contact was made. The UFO may have been a highly classified project by the United States government. They could have been secretly testing out some sort of drone or futuristic aircraft. This would explain the collection and possible destruction of all the data gathered about the object. If this is true though, why would the government decide to test out their fancy new aircraft where they knew they could be spotted by their own military? It would make much more sense to test it out in a more remote location, since the chance of being caught would be much lower. Additionally, those that saw the aircraft described its movements as defying the laws of physics. While it is possible that a futuristic aircraft could seem to defy the laws of physics at the time of the sighting, nothing even remotely similar has been created even 15 years later. The technology is just as unexplainable today as it was in 2004. It is also worth mentioning that the UFO could have been a project belonging to another country, but the same problems still arise. Why would a foreign government test their top-secret aircraft in United States waters near one of their fleets, and how could the object defy the laws of physics? The UFO might not have been a UFO at all. It is possible that the radar malfunctioned or was misinterpreted by the crew. The pilots that saw the object could have been misinterpreting natural phenomena. I find this theory hard to believe since there were so many professionals involved in the sightings that all said the same thing. And what natural phenomena creates the illusion of a giant Tic Tac zipping around in the sky? These UFO sightings are some of the most convincing evidence of extraterrestrial life. The aerodynamically impossible movements could be the result of futuristic alien technology. But the alien theory is not perfect either. Why would aliens visit us from trillions of miles away just to show off their flying skills?